Well, hi. Welcome to No BS Talk, where there will be no BS because we know BS. Normally, on a normal episode, Julie and I would share that, but there seems to be a little bit of communication breakdown right now. She's pensively looking out into the backyard. I have no idea why, but maybe I'll just ask her. Julie, hi Julie.
If he cared, he'd be able to read my mind. I don't ever give anybody the silent treatment. You get to know how I feel.
Holy cow!
Hi, Brad.
Wow. Wow. I wish I need to sit down. Okay. So welcome to this episode of KBST, all denim radio, all the time.
What just happened? Oh, your remote.
I'm BradLovell. This is JulieTurner.
Hi, JulieTurner. JulieTurner.ca.
We're going to talk a little bit about communication here today.
Ooh. Fun.
Right? Julie's really good at communication, or not communicating.
I'm very good at communication.
So
not always do people embrace my style of communication. However, I'm really good at doing it.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Everybody has their thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So in our last episode...
So what was the topic? Yeah.
Yeah, in our last episode, we pulled thing out of our thing.
From the magic
thing.
helmet.
Because we're winging it here. And that particular topic was anger and the quiet voice.
Okay.
Okay, so there's going to be a few people out there that know me that are going to be laughing like crazy right now because I'm actually going to say this. Here's where that comes from.
Okay, because this is another Brad topic.
Well, this is my topic that I threw in. Throughout my lifetime, I have been 0 to 100 miles an hour. So, I could blame it on Scorpio, but we're not going there. But anybody who has like the whole Scorpio thing, that's kind of what it was like. It was like, oh, you're the nicest guy in the world, and oh my God, what happened to you? I've talked to my kids about it since now that they're a little bit older, and it was like, holy cow, you went from nice to scary. And I can never just really, really reel that in. So at a point in my life where I was kind of like trying to figure stuff out, I kind of came up with the concept of what I called the quiet voice. Because I was really sick of feeling angry. I wasn't angry all the time, but I was trying to find ways to deal with this because it was detrimental to me as a person in my relationships with everybody and everything.
And within you.
Like I remember being 20 years old. I remember this. And Mike, wherever you are out there, one of the guys in my band, he actually admitted to me that the guys in the band would figure out ways to piss me off just to watch me go off. Because it was so entertaining for them to watch me lose my shit. So this is not good. So I spent a lot of time in my life trying to deal with this. And then I finally got down to this whole quiet voice thing. And what it kind of came down to was, I realized that the reason that I would get so angry was because I wouldn't say shit even if I had a plate full of it. I've had several people in my life say, Brad, you got to speak up for yourself, but I never would. Because it was, in my family, I was kind of raised like, we always think of other people. And being Brad, I always kind of take that to a fault. And, it really came down to the fact that I would never say anything, and I would just keep it inside and then lose it. Right? And it started, then it became a case of I was losing it over the stupidest little things all the time.
Right.
So I found I started to get a lot better when I started maintaining what I tried to use was a quiet voice. So it's like if you did something that pissed me off, like looked out the window, I wouldn't talk to me and expect me to read your mind.
Nobody wants to get up in here.
It would be it's very noisy. It would be much better for me to try and create a constructive conversation about that and just explain the way I felt. And I'm still not perfect at this. I'm still not perfect at saying what I feel. But at least as far as the anger part of it, it really helped. Now maybe it's, I got a little bit older, but I did put a lot of work and thought into it. And it's just kind of like, if I can confront situations like that with a quiet voice, and I use that mentality, I find I don't get so spinny.
Interesting. So I was raised with a mother who said if you can't say anything nice, then don't say anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent a lot of my time not saying anything when I was younger because I didn't have anything nice to say. So I'm like, I'm just going to shut up then.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the right way to do it. And, that wasn't my mom's point. So a couple episodes back, we talked about how our perception of what people tell us is what we receive, not necessarily what they're telling us. So when she said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, which is from Bambi, Stumper, then what she meant was think of something nice to say, not shut up, but I took it as shut up. So anyways, I too spent a lot of my life not saying anything and then losing it. But the way I lost it was to walk away. So you might erupt, and I just left situations, I left relationships, I left friendships, I just walked away like, no, I don't want to have this discussion, I just walk away. Way easier for me because meh. But the fact is that now I'm really open with the way that I'm thinking or feeling, but I lead with love. I lead with kindness. And I think that's the key. It's not just about saying whatever's on your mind. Not everybody needs to hear what's on your mind necessarily, because sometimes it's not nice, it's not applicable to the situation. But if you lead with kindness, with a solution in mind, that's another big one. A lot of people bring problems to the table. Don't bring me a freaking problem. Bring me a solution, right?
That makes some sense.
Some sense.
No, it does make sense because you just get into a pointless argument or you end up with no resolution.
And sometimes you are going to end up with no resolution. There's not a resolution to everything on this earth. Sometimes people don't see eye to eye. Like, it's just a fact. And
I just found that it was, the world punched me in the face, and I really had to figure out, because I knew that was something that was a very, very, it was just so detrimental.
Right.
And, I'm not saying it's all about peace and love, because, it's not all about peace and love. But the real brass tacks is that you cannot maintain any sort of relationship with an attitude of waiting to go off all the time about the smallest little thing.
Right.
It's just too volatile.
Yes, and both of us, it's interesting that we both had kind of the similar situation, but had very different outcomes to that situation. So you stayed and got angry, obviously not every time, and I left so that I didn't have to deal with my anger.
It was in all capacities of my life.
Right, mine too.
Right?
Mine too.
It's like,
walk away.
oh, this, I broke a guitar string. Right? It was just so manifested in my life. And I really ended up growing to hate it. And it had become just like this horrible habit.
Yes.
Right? And it took a lot of work to kind of undo my mind from that. I was not the type of person to go and punch people out, or it wasn't like that. It was just losing my crap.
Not so much a lot of work. So we don't want people to think they're not going to be able to do this. If you are in that state where you're either erupting or you're walking away from things, either way, not ideal for your situation. Awareness is key. Awareness of, all these things kind of start in our emotions and then they move into our body. So before you would explode, you probably felt something in your body. Maybe something welled up in your throat. Maybe because that, for me, for sure, my throat would get tight because you're not speaking your truth, and your body actually does react that way, strangely enough. So start to learn your triggers and realize, okay, I'm going there. How do I not go there? And whether you want to call somebody like myself or somebody else, but just start being aware, and sometimes that awareness will take you away from the actual really hardcore anger, because you're like, oh, I'm doing this again. Interesting. So the anger kind of dissipates. So just little tips and tricks.
Yeah, at least something to send it. I remember so many times it was I'm so mad, I'm going to take my guitar, and I'm just I could see visually myself taking this guitar and putting it through a wall. And before I could even stop myself, the guitar was through the wall. I would see it happening. It was oh, I'm going to do this. And it's I couldn't stop myself. It was done. Right? But by giving myself at least a little spigot valve of this is how you take the pressure off of that whole anger thing.
Right.
All right. And
And again, don't let yourself get to that point.
Yeah. No, I would recommend that highly. I have written on my mirror, it says, don't mistake anger for passion. It's two totally different things.
Yes, they are.
And I had those confused for a while in my life too. So.
And some people actually believe that you are more passionate when you've got some anger.
Yeah.
And again, they're two very different things. But anger belongs in us. We all have all of the different emotions. Those people that say they never get angry, BS. That's a whole bunch of BS.
Yeah.
We do get angry, but it's just how you deal with it that's important. And again, when we get to that point where we're literally walking away or blowing up, it's because we haven't been heard. We feel we haven't been heard. We aren't being appreciated the way that we want to be. So if we just say, hey, I need you to listen for a moment, or I need you to think about this for a moment. Just lead with kindness is the...
Is there, just before we finish up, you work with people with various different things in your professional capacity.
Yes.
Like, what would be like top 3 things that you could, maybe just say, I lead with kindness. Is there a couple more that somebody could maybe latch onto that might stop them from going off the ledge?
Well, yeah, like I said, pay attention to your body. Listen to your body, and before ever needing to listen to your body, which is always a good thing, speak from your heart. Not from your head, not from the ego, not from that little voice in your head that's saying, this person is doing this against me. Speak from your heart. What does that actually mean to you? Right? And that's the essential thing. And lead with kindness. Before you open your mouth, think about how you can make this, a forward moving situation as opposed to possibly a literal punch in the face, depending on who you're
Good point.
who you're working with.
So to finish up, what's the BS? Not being aware enough to deal with like anger and its issues is BS. It's detrimental to your life. That's kind of my story. I'm glad I was able to put it out there. I can't believe I did. But thank you,
Brett.
Thank you for your your approach and guidance on that.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if that resonated with anybody, which I'm sure it will resonate with a few of you, and you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're always happy to have these topics to bring up. That one was Brad's, but we do have a lot of topics from other people. We're always glad to look at those, but answer questions as well. You can reach out to us. A lot of you have reached out through Messenger or email. Happy to hear from you. You can reach me at JulieTurner.ca.
Brad at BradLovellMusic.com.
Awesome. Before we go, should we draw next time's topic?
No.
No? No?
It's my turn to look out the window, Pence.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and we'll go and I'll deal with Brad's upset mood here. Have a great day.
I'm just being zen. I'm not angry.
Oh, okay. Just taking a moment for himself. Thank you. Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Jill.
Have a great day.